We've got a little bit of a back to school theme this morning as we head into a new school year. We're checking in now with the real estate company that's set up about a year and a half ago, offering cashback to families, so lower brokerage fees effectively for those who are buying houses to help them with school fees. Scott Macfarlane is the managing partner of Family Homes DXB. Nice to see you, Scott.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, last in the studio at the start of last school year in August. And you are the guys who, as I said, give cash back to families. So effectively you end up paying a lower brokerage fee in order to help them with any school fees based on having kids in school. In a year and a half of doing business, how many families have you put in homes now?
We have put over 70 families into homes, mainly townhouses or villas over the last 18 months. We've seen an increase over the last 6 months as our team's grown. And yeah, we've had quite a productive summer as well. Actually, traditionally the summer's a little bit of a slower period, but we actually had our second highest month in terms of number of sales transactions in July just passed.
And how much have you paid out? How much have you put into the pockets of the schools?
None into the pockets of the schools, but we've put over 350,000 dirhams into the pockets of families, which we're very proud of. I think I'd said the last time we give a minimum of 10,000 dirhams back for houses bought or sold between 3.5 and 6.5 million dirhams.
How big have you become as a brokerage in the past 18 months? What's your growth looked like?
The headcount of our team is bigger than the biggest that it's been today. So we are a team of 11. Our revenue has certainly grown as our brokers have, benefited from all of the training and support and infrastructure and tech that we have in house now. And yeah, we're on a really exciting trajectory.
Are you growing at the rate that you thought you would, that you hoped to?
There's been challenges along the way for sure. I think with any kind of startup, there's always ups and downs before you can start making the kind of growth that you probably envision right at the start. But I feel like now the team is stronger than it's ever been. I think the infrastructure and technology that we have in-house is the strongest that it's ever been. And we're really excited and strapped in and ready to go for the 1st of September back to school period, which we call buying season. September through to December is traditionally the most exciting time for agents.
What challenges have you faced? What's been harder than you thought?
I think, originally we were due to have a front-facing retail office out in Sports City, which was in a really high footfall area. And we were really excited to get in and get going with that. The floods came, the systems went underwater for weeks, and that office ended up not getting built. So we pivoted our model a little bit, and we've actually joined in with a real estate ecosystem called The Network, which is based out of Media City. So we work from within their premises and get access to a lot of the perks of being part of that organisation.
Has it been more expensive to do it on your own than you thought?
In what sense?
Systems, tech.
Yeah, I mean,
rent.
it's certainly not a cheap sector to set up and get going, and I think that's probably why you see a lot of really successful agents in this city that could probably, you probably question why they don't go and set up themselves, but because it is quite a difficult sector to get up and get going in, a lot of them just tend to stay in-house in the agency and continue to build themselves.
There's also, there's no shortage of competition from agencies and agents in this market. At the same time, we have got higher prices and we have got less ready stock. What has that meant for the families that you're working with that are trying to buy? I
think everybody has their own set of unique circumstances, and what I always say to people is, I get asked all the time, as I'm sure all agents do, should we continue to rent or should we buy? And my first question is always the same: how long are you intending to be here, and do you believe in the vision and strategy of Dubai? And the vision and strategy of Dubai, the D33 strategy, where they're trying to double the size of the economy between 2023 to 2033, with that brings lots of house building, lots of school building and all that kind of stuff. And if you are somebody that's going to be here for longer than 3 years and you do believe in the vision and strategy of Dubai, for me, the best strategy is to try and buy a townhouse within 5 or 6 kilometres of a premium school. because I think that's such a safe strategy, and one that many families that we've advised over the last few months have gone on to benefit from and will continue to benefit from, with that growth in equity in their house.
Is it still affordable to do that?
There are still deals to be had. Prices, especially in townhouses and villas, which is the area of the market that we specialise in, the prices in the prime areas with the proven developers are definitely continuing to rise. That being said, if you take the right advice from the right agent, somebody that you know in your circle of friends that has performed for somebody that you know, and you take the right advice, I think there are still plenty of opportunities if you're buying the right thing at the right time.
You mentioned the perimeter there to a school. With more traffic and more people on the roads, are you seeing any change in how close people want to live or need to live in order to do the commute and the school drop-off?
100%. I mean, I look at the likes of Mira as a community, for example. Dubai British School, Mira, one of the Talim schools, is opening there just now. And, you know, they're opening with 800 plus students. And I think there's an awful lot of the people that are in Mira that don't want to sit in a car and sit at that roundabout on Sakim anymore, that are banging the doors down to try and get a place in that school. It's that theme of community style living. I look at places like Talal Al Gaff, where you've got Royal Grammar School Guildford, you've got the GEMS SRI school opening next door. Kids can bike along to school. That traditionally hasn't been an option for families in Dubai, but it definitely is a growing option. More and more of the big school operators are cottoning on to the fact that that's the type of lifestyle that people want. They don't want to sit in a car for 40, 50 minutes in the morning. They want their kids to get to school themselves if they can, or they want that commute to be sub 10 minutes.
I believe we were looking to get Liam on Monday morning as well, FYI. You were recruiting teachers as well, weren't you, as real estate agents? Tell me what the environment for that has been like. Have you got teachers who don't want to be in the classroom anymore, who see a better financial future selling property?
I wouldn't say there's teachers that don't want to be in the classroom anymore. What we're finding is there's a lot of teachers that are really curious about other opportunities. And we actually just had one start with us this week, a guy called Stephen Campbell that's been a teacher here for 10 years. He's built up a little bit of a property portfolio himself. He would class himself as a kind of property guy, is his passion, and he just felt it was the right time to move on and have a new challenge. I think the challenge you're always going to have with teachers is it's probably one of the most stable jobs you can find, right? You're getting the same amount of money in your account on payday, and that's the complete opposite of a real estate agent, which you could go months without getting anything, and then you could do a big deal and get a big whack at the one time. So I think it's a bit of an education piece from our side, and we are trying to do things to make that transition a little bit less scary. And put like a minimum earning, for example, so that if they do draw a blank for several months in a row, they're not out on the street begging for food. But no, we probably haven't brought on as many as we would have liked over the last little while, but I'm still confident that we're going to continue to bring more on over the next few months.
I have to leave it there, unfortunately. Scott Macfarlane, Managing Partner of Family Homes DXB. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.